Hi there, my name is Ratimir and I'm the creator of University Base, a sci-fi series based on the characters and setting of Sid Meier's Alpha Centauri. Let's take a quick look behind the scenes of the first season's second episode. This is a fictional, very stylized version of Chersky. Everything is laid out according to what the camera sees. Outside of that does not matter. I love compositing. Just give me a bunch of light passes and AOVs and let me paint the image. This is a storyboard frame. At the beginning of the pre-production, if I have a very specific image in mind for a certain moment in the screenplay, I'll usually do a very rough sketch just so I wouldn't forget the image. Here's a nice view of the plane wreck asset. Again, the side that faces the camera has some details in the model and texture, while the other side is pretty much bare bones. It's a quick sculpting and texturing job that works nicely within the final shot. This is the apartment building that's instanced across the scene to form Chersky. I made this for the first episode, knowing that I'll need it again further down the line. The metahuman framework of Unreal Engine is absolutely wonderful to work with. Without the built-in tools for performance capture, animation would take forever. A decade ago, this was the stuff of dreams to anyone outside of the large VFX houses. The explosion here was also rendered in Unreal Engine in basically real time. This would take hours and hours of rendering with a classic path tracer. Cryocell must be one of the assets I've poured the most time into. It was also made during the first episode's production, again knowing I'll need it in various situations in the future. The level of detail allows for very close shots. Design of the vitals screen is a reference to similar screens in 2001: A Space Odyssey, probably my all-time favorite movie. When the wake-up process starts, frozen cryogel is liquefied and drained out of the cryocell. At least that's how I see it. I had so much fun compositing this shot. Here are some of the passes that make up the shot, and that's how it all comes together. In this episode, we don't spend any time in the back section of the bridge, but it will come into play in the future. Forward section has 4 workstations and a main communications unit. Before I begin animating, I go over the entire screenplay and break down every scene into shots. This is called a shot list. While only a couple of special shots might get storyboarded, all are listed in this document. Shot numbers are incremented by 5 to leave enough space for eventual additions in between. These shot numbers are then added into a script to get a final shooting script. I'm still getting acquainted with all the tools within Unreal, so there's plenty of room to level up the production value further. Also, I'm doing the body movements by manually animating the rigs. This is certainly not the way to go. But I currently don't have a fancy motion capture suit, which would be pretty much ideal for this. Still, working around the limitations does get the creative juices flowing, and I always like a good challenge. The uniforms were really fun to do. I had an idea of what I want shape and color-wise, but I needed references to make that idea tangible. Thankfully, an artist from DeviantArt, going by the name of Fivalin, had already made some wonderful concept art which helped me immensely. I love space art, I love spaceships, I love space, I love everything about it. Here I wanted to convey a bit of an 80s model shot vibe. This series needs way more shots of Unity. And here's the little quicklink asset. Some props in Alpha Centauri, both the game and the supplementary media, have a bit of a sci-fi golden age aesthetics, so I thought I can play a bit with the design of quicklink. It's both modern and yet akin to something from Forbidden Planet, also one of my favorites. If there's anything specific that interests you, tell me in the comments. I'm currently working on the 3rd episode, and this time I'm trying to do a bit more thorough job documenting the process. That's it for now. See you in the next one.